All right, Coach, you want to start with an opening statement before moving on to questions?
Another great opportunity for us to come out in front of our home crowd and play the game that we love against a tough Arkansas team that I believe is better than their record indicates. At the end of the day, it's a whiteout. We need our fans out there supporting our young men and creating a home court advantage so that we can go out there and give our very best.
All right, questions?
Dennis, specifically in the second half of last game, what do you, after looking back at it, what do you feel like there is to build on, especially off that rally you guys had?
Well, I love how we came out in the first couple minutes and took the lead down 10, was able to get up, by 1 point. But it's time of possession, time of lead that's also valuable. I think that next possession, after a timeout, they were able to get an and one, three the hard way. They were able to get 10-plus threes in that game, and now in that situation we gave up an and one. So in those situations, how long can we hold the lead is going to be very important, but also seeing what it looks like for teams to play behind for a period of time and continue to build the lead and execute in the half court, but also execute defensively.
Coach, as far as three-point attempts go, you had only 8 against South Carolina, which maybe seems like an anomaly based on how the season has gone. But what's your sense of kind of where the right amount of three-point attempts are and how those shots are being treated?
Well, it's sometimes what the defense gives you, and I thought our guys were able to capitalize on paint touches, which is obviously a strength in terms of what we wanted to do in that game. But more importantly, that gives us opportunities to get foul calls and different things like that. I thought we did increase, but not enough that situation. I thought our guys were able to get 40 points in the paint, which is, really an indicator of how aggressive you are. But we still lost and missed some quick and easy shots in the paint in those last 3-4 minutes that I thought could have allowed us to win the game. So you have to play patient. Arkansas is one of the best shot blocking teams in our conference. They do a great job protecting the rim. So now, where is that balance at? You got to be able to read the right shots, but also be able to spray out to open guys. And that's going to be one of the things that we have to understand. Arkansas also is very good at drawing fouls. They're one of the top teams, is the top team in our conference and top 5 in the country. And free throw attempts per game, I think they're close to 30. So that's one of the things that has been a sore spot for us in terms of trying to get to the line. But Arkansas is a team that is one of the tops in the countries in doing that.
What do you want to see from each of your freshmen? They've all had their different paths at this point. Moving forward, what would you like to see from each of them?
Well, consistency is key. It's always, when it comes down to our guys, they're going to grow. They're going to have obstacles. They're going to obviously put the fight into it, the practice and the player development into it to get better. Now we have to just remain consistent. You got Jordan Butler, who's earned a starting spot. We just got to get him consistent, and he's doing those things. He was, again, our highest graded defender last game, and he did a tremendous job. We just got to get him more comfortable on the offensive end to know when and what shots he should be taking. Ant Robinson obviously was out, so consistently, just whether it was a virus or a family matter, condolences to his family. Lost a loved one, but just being consistent as we can and getting them, over that hump of performance. And he's one of our better defenders, but also one of our elite, ball handlers. Trent Pierce is just about health when it comes down to it. It'll be a game time decision again, trying to figure out where he's at. And he's been out for us, so it's just one of those things where we got to do consistently the labor that gives us the outcome that we want.
Coach, you mentioned Arkansas is a better team than their record indicates, and you mentioned kind of the shot blocking and free throws. What are some of the other things that stand out to you about that team?
Well, I think because you look at the stats, right on paper, they're 31% three-point shooting team. I think that stat is misleading. I think they are a better three-point shooting team when you look at the individual stats of their guys that they were able to put on this roster this year. That's one of them. Free throw percentage is another. They've had games where they shot over their average of 71%, 72%, so that's a strength. Rebounding is a strength for them, meaning second chance points and opportunities. But when you look at the overall stat of shot-making abilities, they have shot-making abilities, and they're better than their percentage.
When you look at this rivalry, I mean, it goes back further than the football rivalry to Norm and Nolan. It's been heated at times over the years. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of what's your view of the Mizzou-Arkansas rivalry in your second year with it?
It's a great rivalry. It's a great game that should always be played. It's a game that I believe excites our fan base. It excites our tradition. It excites our former players because they too get to sort of go down memory lane and reminisce a little bit on their time playing against Arkansas. It's a bordering state. That's another thing, and those things are important when you look at competitive advantages or disadvantages. No matter what the records are, it's going to be a great game. And last year's stats, when you look at the games, they were decided between a couple points, a couple possessions here and there. When we were at Arkansas last year, I think we lost by about 4 or 5 points or something like that, but it was a close game. We were up at halftime. They took the leading into those first 10 minutes of the second. When they came here, it went down possession by possession toward the end, and we were able to muster out a win. So they're going to obviously compete and battle to the best of their ability.
Dennis, obviously to get an SEC win in any week is good, but to get an SEC win against a rival like Arkansas, what do you think that would do for the morale of this team too?
Well, it's important. We're looking for a one-game winning streak, and that's what we're looking for. So we got to do those small things. You can't win the game at the jump ball in the center court once the game starts, but you got to consistently do those things over the duration of a game that allows you to end up on top. We can't have those fouls that are 95 feet away from the basket, but it counts against us, whether it's putting them on the line for the double bonus or just a bonus, and it gets them an opportunity to be more aggressive than our half-court defense. And we don't want to put ourselves in that situation. So we got to do a better job and containing the dribble, contesting shots without fouling, but also being able to execute what we need to execute. Free throw blockouts, things like that, the small things, they all add up, and we have to play a complete game from the beginning to the end.
All right, anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.
Thanks, Coach.